Okay, so let's continue with where I left off, kind of on words. And if you think about it, probably the most basic thing is what I just did. You make sure all your stuff is prepared properly. So that was great for a web page. Just basic general things. But one of the downfalls, of course, is that search is different. So let's see what we have on the actual mobile search is a little bit different. But let's look at what's on Canvas here. So I did post some things on Canvas for you to look at. So we've all kind of covered this one right here, understanding the basics of SEO. Remember we watched the Matt Cutts video right there, see it? Right? And then, so this one has some good information. I'm going to review this one kind of quickly here. So this link is from this website, Moz, and it's got a lot of good, tools and information about SEO kind of information. And here's their 7 concepts of advanced on-page SEO. So when it says on-page, is what we just did, where we actually put the content on the website, right? These are the things that you would put on the page, hence the word on the page. So, the first basic things, of course, is words and relevancy. Is the content relevant to the word that people are searching on in Google? And so then you have your on-page techniques, some of the ones we talked about, and here we go. So where are the words being used? We already talked about that. So we have our key phrases. So, Bay Area artist, Bay Area watercolor artist, right? Where would they do, you put that in the title. I showed you how to put that in the name. Remember we talked about the permalink? So this would be in the permalink right there. Did you get some food? Yeah. Okay, we'll take a break in a minute and you can eat it. Let me finish talking here and then that's okay. So then, we have the title, then the URL, and then the body. This would be the text that you put in there. I think I gave you one of the little secrets, is if it's a really big text on the body, the H1, that Google really looks at that as very important because it's H1. So if you can't get away with using such a big font on there. And then in the images, remember we talked about the alt tag, right? So, these are the basics that they're talking about here. It's really hard to scroll with this mouse here. Here we go. And it's a good place to start, but it isn't the only way. Okay, so that's the best basic things there. And then how you use those words is frequency. They talk a little bit about that. And so they talk about synonyms. Synonyms. Words that mean something that are similar to something, right? And so they talk a lot of this term frequency. Inversion document frequency measures the importance of keyword phrases by comparing it to the frequency of the terms in a large set of documents. Many advanced textual analysis techniques use a version of the TF-IF. And so what they're kind of talking about is your site using the same, other pages on your site using the same words as well? Well, let's say you're selling watercolor art. Maybe you have several pages that use the word watercolor, Bay Area, so on and so on. So again, frequency. Here's the synonyms and close variants. These are words that are similar to words that you are using. An example in the queue is dog pics, which can mean the same thing as dog photos, dog pictures of dogs, dog pictures, canine photos, dog photos. Google own research show that synonyms, how do you say that? Synonyms? I'm thinking synonyms for some reason. Synonyms actually play a role up to 70% of the searches. So, having words that are relevant. To solve this problem, search engine post vast corpus of synonyms and close variants for billions of phrases, which allow them to match content to queries even when the searchers use different words than your text. So again, Google's looking at the big picture. I think is what the whole purpose is Google's looking at the big picture of your site, and as you go along, you can adjust your words. In fact, one of the things that you should be doing is, if you're really marketing, is changing words frequently on your site and then re-saving them, and then you can actually go and tell Google when to search in the Google bot, and I will show you that in a little bit, so that you go and make sure that Google knows that hey, you made a change, and you can go and index it again. The term index that you talked about in the video is their giant database that they go and they put it in. So here again, they also talk about the page segmentation, where you place your words on a page is often important as the words themselves. Each web page is made up of different parts: header, footer, sidebar, and more. Search engines have a long work to determine the most important part of the given. Most Microsoft and Google holds several patents suggesting more relevant and HTML words. I think I told you the H1 is very important too, as well as the body text. Semantic distance and term relationships. This is when we're talking about on-page optimization. Semantic differences refers to the relationship between the different words and phrases on the text. This differs from the physical distance between phrases, focusing on how terms connect to these sentences, paragraphs, and so on. So again, well-written content is very important. Okay, and then co-occurrence and phrase-based indexing. Notice phrase-based indexing was most important. Again, they're talking about phrases, not using one word, but using a combination of words, right? Sure what that means. More, they're talking about where to put your words and what kind of words to write. So, you know, that's just some reading right there. That was on understanding basic search engine. The next information I have on Canvas here would be the, so that was understand basic. Anatomy of website, we already talked about that. I just showed you that it's all those. Choosing words. So the next one is called mobile rich content on here. So if we go and we search on our phone, of course, there's a little bit different information than on a desktop. And one of the ways that they go about doing that is by making content for what we call rich cards. And rich cards are just a way, let's say you're selling a product. So this is not necessarily for maybe a service. It could be for a service, I guess, as well. But a lot of it has to do with, you know, dealing with there. So we can watch the video briefly and just talk about it. This is something that I've been working on, and I haven't really implemented yet. I've been still thinking about how to implement it. For one reason, you know, since we don't sell on the Zircon site, it's hard for me to make a card that doesn't have selling information, I guess. And the other thing is, let me get my let me see if I can plug in my phone onto the projector here. They have another here. Let me see if I can get my phone in there. Okay, so the talk here would be, you know, what is the difference between mobile and desktop search here? So if we go to, and let me see if I can get my phone on here. There we go. So here we go. We're on a mobile device, which is a little bit different than the desktop device. One of the things that, again, Google has done in the past couple years is have a mobile search. And so the search is different. And so let's just find a browser here. I want to use something. I guess we can use Chrome. Because Chrome is a little, and look, I'm already searching for stud finders, aren't I? If we go to Google, my keyboard's in Spanish for some reason. I just came back from South America a couple months ago, and it converted into Spanish when I was down there, and now it wants to be in Spanish. Yeah, I'm sure I can go back here. There's somewhere. Yeah, it did it automatically, yes. As soon as I went to Colombia, it switched itself to Spanish. Well, yeah. So what are we searching for? Real estate, was it? Where's the real estate you want to, where? Morgan Hill? So how about we type in house for sale, Morgan Hill, California. Okay, so the first thing that comes up, of course, is a ad, and what some of the things you see in the ad is of course, you know, you got a title, you got the page, you got your description there. So these are the things we just talked about. Notice how it's formatted a little bit differently than it does on the desktop. You'll see it's in kind of boxes with things kind of, you know, the description here is a little bit separated from there. So everything's kind of boxy there. In addition, they have these extra, you know, links here. Where there's blue links that you see there, that's usually from the like a menu or something. So those 4 blue links above there are probably menu items in your menu. So the words that you use in a menu are very important as well, because those words that you use in a menu will show up inside of Google as well. Let me pause this for a moment. This is not even... So the Google Store. If you go to Google and go to Google Store, because they want you, they don't really have their own ad. They want you, oh, this is the store for Google. It's like a Google Store. How to make,
the Play Store?
no, not necessarily the Play Store. I don't know. I'll have to find it. This shopping. Maybe this is what I want. Google Shopping. Yes. And so what were leaf blower, right? Leaf blower shopping. So again, you can make these. There's an area. I think I have to log into my Google account. But you can make these, and they show up as well. And once you make one, you can then advertise that, hence sponsored. So the key here to you know, using Google Shopping is you can make your ad and then pay for the word, and then your ad will show up just like you see here in here. Okay, so one advertising, especially for products and things like this works kind of well, is that you'll notice that as well. There, these ads can be easily made. And then you got these things right here. I think this would be a rich card here. So these are called rich cards, and they're basically you know, text with some images, and it looks like, I don't know, there's research. And then the other one that they just started doing with mobile is the oh, and then they have best leaf blowers. Look at this. There's multiple links. I haven't seen this before, where you have multiple links here. Leaf blower reviews. Who thinks the leaf blower review is going to be Amazon? What do you guys think? This one right here, this link I'm going to click on right here. Yes. It's definitely an Amazon affiliate, probably. Let's see. So we go and review, and then he gives you a quick list of all the leaf blowers, and then and you got comparison here with there, and then you got pros and cons. See prices today. Goes to Amazon, right? Okay, so this is an Amazon affiliate, and so hopefully you can start recognizing Amazon affiliates now. I mean, I think the key here is that you can see that. Oh, I lost my page. What browser was I using? Chrome? Chrome. There it is. Okay. So again, it just jumped there. Now I'm stuck on Amazon. Let me go back to Google. Yeah. Yeah, it's evil. Let's delete that. Let's whatever. What was I trying to do? I was going leaf blowers, right? Okay, let's look at it again. Leaf. Oh. Leaf. Pause this. Actually have an entirely They have a entirely new bot for that as well. And hey, let's look at the all. So again, here's the leaf blowers. Uh-oh, here we go. What's this one? Best reviews. What do you think? Amazon again, right there. Yeah. Oh, Amazon right there. Best reviews. So, you know, Amazon builds all these extra sites so that everything starts showing up. And then you got Amazon here and so on. So, and then this one's Amazon again right here. So let's just look. The first 1 Amazon, 2 Amazon, 3 Amazon, 4 Amazon, 5 Amazon, 6, 7, you know, Amazon there. So almost every link that's at the very top is a link from Amazon. This is Amazon as well right here. This is not. This looks like a dealer of some kind. So, you know, Amazon. And then here's the kind of the image. Or these look like kind of rich card kind of things as well, and so on. So on there I have some reading here for what are rich cards, and so you know, we don't need to watch all of this. This woman talks a lot about the search.
So you go back, you click on another link, you look at the suggestions there, and it just takes forever. It's a bit annoying, isn't it? Why is that? Because what you're searching for is things, and in fact, you're getting links. What if instead you got organized visual results to help you spot the thing that you wanted right away? That would be neat, right? I thought so. So for this type of category queries, we're changing search to show more things and fewer links. I am Maria, and these are rich cards. Rich cards are building on the success of rich snippets. They present categories of content in beautiful visual carousels that you can scroll left and right with images and other interesting information. As a developer, it's a great opportunity if you present your content in this way because you can stand out in the results and attract more visitors to your site. You also take up more space, and you can add more elements from your on-page content to the search result page. Today, I'll show you how to get your things into search for users who are looking for them. So how does this work? To get your content displayed as a rich card, you need to add schema.org and JSON-LG to the relevant bits of your site. First, you need to find out if your content matches the rich card verticals. Verticals are listed in the gallery. We've built up screenshots, we have code samples, we have different examples. You can browse there, you can have a look and see what actually matches what you have on your site. And then also each code sample has a link to the structured data testing tool so that you can tweak the code in real time and see what happens to the examples. After you've figured out which vertical is most representative of your content, what you need to do is find the essential things to mark up. Each type of rich card has fields without which we cannot display it in search. So for example, for recipes, that's name and image. But you can add more fields to make your cards richer and more attention grabbing than everything else that we show on the search results page. Again, for recipes, you can add calories, you can add preparation time, you can add ingredients.
Hey, let's see if we can find a. I'm gonna try the recipes. What do you want to make? Oh, my thing's not showing up. Uh-oh. No?
I actually don't.
Okay.
Start work at 1. But
Why is my thing not showing up? Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's try a recipe. What do you guys want to make? Cookies? How about what kind of cookies? Chocolate chip? Yeah. Or pumpkin spice? Or sugar cookies? Sugar. Okay, so this is kind of what she was talking about right here. So how do I do that? You know, for mobile, that's really starting to show up. And look, all these have, you know, look a little little, even the links all have stuff. They got a picture, and they got a rating. They got a picture, a rating, a description. Look at all that. All that can be controlled by your making the content properly. And that's sort of what she's talking about there. So there's tools in there, and we don't need to sit through the whole thing. So the key here is you use the tool, and I'll show you the tool right now. We'll look at it, and we'll look at how to, as you can see, you got cook time, prep time, and so on, at least for a recipe. And then you make the code, and then you write the code in your HTML and put it on your site. And then you go to track it, and you can go and track it, and then making sure that all the content is exactly correct. So as you can see in here, they have a testing tool right here. I'll show you the testing tool, and then they have examples that you can go and test. And the reason why they do that is they're giving you information about how many people are clicking on there, because they want you to advertise. That's why. Okay, so that was kind of interesting. Something called rich cards. You can build the rich card in the console. So I'm not going to go watch the whole video here, but here's the tool. It's called Google Console. I use Google Console all the time. You can build the card in there, right there, and it takes you to a page that talks about it, and then how to enter the code, and then you can make your own card. So there's a video that explains how to do it right there. So you might want to consider looking into how to make a card. And then here's their gallery. She talks about how you can choose it. So inside here is a gallery. And so what kind of card are you looking for? In this case, breadcrumbs navigation indicate the page position in the site hierarchy. As you can see, it'll look like this. Remember the links that we saw on mobile search, right? Where you can just have a plain mobile search like this, where it has a little bit of text, it has where it's located within the site, and then a title. Okay, so this is kind of more of a less visual, but it's formatted properly for mobile. Okay, then you have a corporate contact. Okay, so this is a way of showing your business online. And if you've never seen that, of course, you can just go and search on Google anywhere here. So if we just go and search on Google and go to well, it's not showing up very good. Oh, there it is. As you can see, you can control how your business shows up. You can add photos, right? So if you have a Google account, you can go and add your business, location, map, photo, and so on. And then you can have related information and so on, and phone number. So all companies can have their own space there on Google. That's kind of what they're talking about here, corporate contact. And you can control that because you might want to have your own pictures on there. Then they talked about the carousel that she talked about for the recipes, but you can use that for products as well. I've seen that as well. Of course, your logo, site link search box. You can have a search box in your link, it looks like. I never tried that. Social profile, articles, which might be good for your blog if you have a blog and you're doing a blog posting. Books, courses, could be, and data set, and events. You can have events. Fact checking, never heard of that one, but job posting, local business, maybe if you were a book or a business, a restaurant, right? Occupation, podcast, product. This is where I would probably do, but of course, no, it's for price and all that stuff. Remember, we were getting results. You know, I don't know if I'm thinking about doing that, and then of course we all love cat videos. Videos can have their own display as well. Video information and search results with the option to play the video. This would probably be good if I had my, this would be something that I should probably add to the website for YouTube. Yeah, so this would probably be pretty good to do. What does the markup language look? You can click on the structure here. It'll show you this structure here, and you can actually copy this code right here. If I can scroll here. So it's basically a JavaScript code. JSON is a JavaScript data format, and then it'll give you some information over here, and then you can change the information as well. So I might do this for maybe the videos. I don't know, YouTube videos. Looks like it's for a video on your website as well. But that's a good way to do the video. So as you can see, the structure of how they set it up is a way of organizing information. So where do you put this? Well, you put it on a web page on your server, on your website. Remember I made a web page earlier? You saw it there? You would then go and make these files specifically, and you put them on your server, and they show up in a search like that. So again, I have that information here on there if you're interested in learning about that. And then they give you some information, more information. There's a whole bunch of info I posted up there about how to make these. Because I think, this is kind of the future. The people are searching. When we go and look at the stats for my website, I'll go and show you the stats. You'll see that more than like 70% of the people are searching on mobile, right? They're not searching on desktop. They're searching on their phone, So, that is rather important. Here's the technical aspects right here. Uh-oh. It's been suspended. Maybe I got a bad link. Schema press.
What does that mean, suspended?
I don't know. That's a WordPress. I guess that they've been kicked out of WordPress. I thought, here it is. So it might be dangerous. Maybe not. Yeah, I was going to use this plugin, but I don't think I'm going to use it now if their website doesn't work. Okay, I don't know. And then here's an example of design ideas for cards. And what are cards? Cards are things that can show up on Android. Now I don't. I got an iPhone here. Who has Android? Anybody have Android here? But you can make cards that they're called cards that will show up on the Android device. Okay, so that's another kind of like the what I was just talking about, the rich cards for mobile search. But if somebody has a specific Android operating system, you can have your content show up as well, just in the Android operating system and not necessarily in a browser search. That's what this one is called, here, card. So those are very useful mobile tools right there. Let's jump into a testing tool. One of the other things that is very important is that your content for your website needs to be mobile friendly. Okay, so is your website properly formatted to do the mobile search? So if we go over here to this tool, this is a Google testing tool. Let's try the West Valley site and see if it's mobile friendly. And we're going to see and run the test. And the reason why they want your page to be mobile, oh gosh, okay, we gotta do our things. Which one's a crosswalk? Is this a crosswalk? Is this a crosswalk? I can't tell. This one's a crosswalk. Is this a crosswalk? This is a crosswalk. I think I passed the test. You guys get those tests in Google sometimes. Yeah. Okay, so It's running a test. So what is the purpose of this test? Well, it's going to give you a test. It's going to analyze your page and see if it's mobile friendly for it to be in the search results, the Google mobile search results. So it's testing the site, and if it does have errors and messages that, hey, there's some problems with their website that they're not going to show up well in a Google mobile search, it'll come and tell you that. And so mobile is very popular, super important. So the reason why I'm saying that is that, you can prepare your content. Oh, page is not mobile friendly. Oosh. Look at that. Wow, you got a big error message. It doesn't mean your site's not going to show up. It's just that, it's not optimized for a mobile device. It's not going to be. And the other reason why is Google's not going to rank you higher, right? They're going to kind of ding you. They're going to, say they're going to rank you lower for this problem, And then they give you suggestions on how to fix the errors that you have, and so on. Most of the problems you run into is your images are too wide for a mobile device, or the other one, again, see how it's too wide there, or the clickable items are too close together. So we can do another one. Let's do my Zircon site. Not again. Really? You would think that they would know. Really? These are all traffic lights. It's trying. A little slow here. Wow. It's really analyzing my page here. Yeah. Okay. So here it is. Page is mobile friendly, but it has some issues with loading. Most of these have to do with bad code. You can see the code is bad. One of the downfalls that you have of using things like WordPress or some other content management system is that, as you add plugins, it adds extra code to your site. And then if you're not using that code, eventually it tends to stay there, right? You have old code that's been sitting there, and it's very difficult. So it shows you what your page looks like. Again, my site looks horrible on mobile. One of the reasons why is you can see this is what it looks like on somebody's cell phone. All you have is like this big thing here. It doesn't really have any content. There's no reading. There's no link anywhere, really. It's just, this is what shows up. It's pretty bad. It needs to be redone. And we just paid $60,000 to have this site made. And I told them they should have, went with the mobile first and then dealt with the desktop. The problem that this company did was they went with the desktop first, right? Oh, how does it look on the computer, right? And then they went from computer down to mobile. And the problem with that is then your mobile is not formatted properly, where they should have formatted the website first for, I would say, mobile, and then go to desktop. And not worry, maybe even not worry about desktop too much, because like I said, almost like 70% of the people come from a mobile device. It's like almost there. So that's a testing tool. And then here's some core developer delight about how to make your website friendly for mobile. And there's a lot of info on that. Okay, so that's what I have here on Canvas. We can take a break. I need to go get Jennifer. I told her I'd come by around noon to get her. So she's been sitting over there. So let me go get Jennifer, and then I'll come back and we'll start on this stuff. What this thing over here? What is social media research? And so I don't know. You want to eat first? Yeah, why don't you eat your thing?
Okay.
Yeah, why don't you eat something? I'll grab something real quick too. I don't know, like 15 minutes, come back, we'll do some things, and then we can go home if you want. You don't have to stay here all day long. I social media marketing PowerPoint here. So again, this talks a lot about how many people are in the world and where they're spending their time, basically online, And of course, we're mostly online doing what? We're doing our Facebook, social media. These are the name of the countries, and you can drill down in this PowerPoint presentation. If you click on one of the countries here, it'll give you some more detail. So if you're interested in learning more about Canada, you can click on that and it'll give you more Canadian information. Well, I don't know why I just jumped like that, but there was a way that you could click. I think it's towards the end. And then they give you an overview. We just talked about that, how many people are using what. And you'll be amazed on how many people are actually on, and I don't know if this is true, Facebook. It's just, I don't know, that many people on Facebook. So up internet users are up 7%, and of course more social media users, mobile users, everything is up and growing. Social media is integrating more with a lot more different tools. Then they talk about growth in Africa, probably the largest growing area for digital. And of course, you could see 20% of the population just since 2017. Everybody's growing. In the Americas, I guess that would include South America as well. And so they're just giving you go in Asia Pacific and so on. Global population. Age by country. Literacy rates. What else? I find there was some good stuff about Facebook in here. Growth of internet users. Again, look at this. Egypt, Kenya, Saudi Arabia, Vietnam, Guyana, Thailand, Malaysia. And if you look, these are countries that, probably didn't have pretty much internet use. I mean, it's just coming there. And again, most of the people are on mobile. And you'll see growing population, decrease. Singapore. And then they have speeds. Of course, Singapore is the fastest internet. Look at that. 161 megabits per second compared to Egypt and Nigeria, Honduras. And so U.S. is pretty poor down here. Look at that in the middle. We don't have very fast internet. What's that? All these countries are above U.S., UK, France, Italy, Turkey. They all have faster internet.
So why is that?
Because the corporations control the internet here. If it was a public utility, like it is in a lot of the other countries, right? If you were in Singapore or in South Korea, the internet is brought to you by the government, right? Or is oversight by the government. Here, there's no government oversight, so the corporations can do whatever they want and charge you whatever you want. But at your house, you have two choices: AT&T or Comcast. At least in my house, right? And what are you gonna do? AT&T isn't very fast. Comcast is faster, but there's no other else. I can't call another company and say, "Hey, can you give me faster internet?" There's no other country. That's what the problem is, or the government needs to give it to you. Okay, so we can flip through this. I just found this PowerPoint. I was looking at it yesterday. Use of ad blockers. Look at that. China has 54% of the people use ad blockers. Perspective analysis. Social first internet adoption. End-to-end social journeys. Online product research. Again, a lot of people start their research online now, right? You're going to buy something. You go straight to Google and type it in, right? Or Amazon, so it's really growing and powerful. And so then they got social media use. 70% of the people in North America use social media, and so on. So it's growing. Eastern Asia, and you'll see. Here it is. Here's the one I saw was, what is the most popular apps, right? So the most popular apps, of course, Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp. I remember the first time I saw WhatsApp, I was in Colombia. People there, were trying to send messages back and forth and call people. I don't know what FB Messenger is. Facebook Messenger, I guess. And then WeChat, that is the Chinese one, right? That's the Chinese chat, right? And what is QQ? Very popular, but you can't. China has what, 1 billion people, so the population's huge. As far as being able to take advantage of those kind of social media aspects, right? Instagram, Tumblr. I don't know why there's asterisks. I don't know. Tumblr is that popular still. I don't know. It's kind of dying. I thought. Qzone, Cyanine Weibo, Twitter. This is a search engine, right? The Chinese search engine. Skype, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Reddit, Line, Pinterest, YY. I don't know what that is, and so on. But so you got Messenger and social networks, very popular sites. And then they show you what's the most popular. Of course, Facebook Messenger is most popular in North America. WhatsApp is pretty much around the world. It looks like Japan has their own kind of thing. Total number of monthly active Facebook users, 2.17 billion. I don't know. I quit Facebook a couple years ago. Never went back. So I don't know. I just couldn't take that. It was just useless information. And so you get the idea here. I don't know. We could quickly go through. There's a lot of really interesting stats I found in here. Again, mobile users are probably the largest growing population. And so, you as a marketing person or thinking about marketing, really making your stuff optimized for the phone is probably a key aspect of it all. That's my whole point of that all. And so, but I thought there was cool information in here. Broadband mobile connectivity. See, Africa has plenty of room for growth. And, one of the things about Africa is they're not even going to go to, things like, landline. They wouldn't even, why would you put a wire there? Everything's mobile there, right? Everything's mobile there. You're not going to have a wired internet connection there, right? There's no Comcast there. There's going to be no AT&T there. Maybe AT&T tower, but, most of the places, they're not going to have broadband wires. They have broadband cell phone networks. And of course, G5 is coming out soon. And there they go. They just show you the growth of the traffic there. And so we don't have to go through it all. E-commerce, they talk about commerce. One of the things that that the internet brings is that people have access to credit, right? If you have access to credit cards, then you can buy things online, right? Some places in the world, they don't have credit cards. How are you going to get a credit card in Nigeria, and places like that. So it's very difficult that, the infrastructure there for the, the online e-commerce thing needs to be built in order to be able to take advantage of that. Okay, so I thought that was kind of fun. That was a link on social media there in the social media. We looked at the Yoast SEO plugin. That's what we were looking at earlier when I built that page. Again, very important to be able to do that. Put in those keywords. So that was a link there, and I showed that already. Link building. If you watch the video, so this is a very important aspect as well. If you watch the video from Matt Kutz video, he talked about surge and page whatever the founders of Google, and one of their major ranking aspects is what they call link popularity. And what link popularity is who is linking to your site and whose site you're linking to, and ranking you according to your popularity of linking. And so if you look here, they have some reading on that, how to start a link building campaign. And so if you're a marketing person, linking and having people link to you is very important to not only your ranking, but your, area of, I guess what I'm trying to say is subject area, right? You, linking to organizations that are in your area, right? If you're a real estate, your local real estate agencies and associations, right? And them linking to you would be very important. They would rank you higher. So, what is link building campaign? A link building campaign is the process of actively trying to increase links to your website, usually accompanied by some kind of overarching objective. This would use assets belonging to the website in order to acquire those links, and assets that can be anything from content and news to products and services. So again, link building is an important aspect to Google specifically. I mean, Google was the first ones that saw this as an important part of theirs. And so, but people will find your website. I have people coming from Popular Mechanics because we have articles in there and so on, and going to the site that way. And so, it's very important not to only set realistic goals, but to make sure the goals are set. And so they talk about goals, your assets. People steal my photos anyway, so those are my assets they're stealing. Links to your homepage or links to your product pages, and that's sort of what I'm, the goal for me, if I was going to do like the rich cards, remember we were looking at the rich cards for Google, my goal would be to maybe make a rich card for each one of the products, and then the person clicks on it and goes to the website to learn more information about the product, then get them to go to Amazon or to Home Depot or somewhere like that to buy the product. So that would be like 3 steps, right? Make a rich card. That rich card links to my site that gives them more information that then goes from my site to Amazon where they can buy it. So they don't go straight to Amazon. The problem with going straight to Amazon is you're just going off of Amazon's research, right? So that's where the link is coming in. Having people link from more information and so on. Create content, find an angle, do the outreach, and then follow up. And so I think that the rich card, again, blogging is probably one of the most important aspects to your link building. And so one way we do this is by making blogs that are outside of the website, right? So here, let's just look at some of those. So another, probably one of the biggest link building things that we do at Zircon is actually the blog. So let's go look at some of those blogs. And I link to them on the website. If I can spell it. So if you look here, and we got on to the bottom here, we got blogs down here. So you got your Instagram, you got your Facebook, you got your YouTube, you got your Twitters, you got your Instagram, and then you got your blog. And so we have internal blogs, but then we also have external blogs. So if you read one of these and you click on it, it might take you to, there is a blog page somewhere. Where's my blog pages? So we have internal blogs, but we also have WordPress. Let me just search. So we have this one. Oh, that doesn't look like my blog. Oh, here, Zircon Tools, this one. So we have a blog that's outside of the and so we have a consultant from Las Vegas who writes a blog for us, and so then the blog is then shared. So how is this blog made? Well, I showed you a little bit about WordPress.org and how I do it on my site, but you can also have a free blog using WordPress.com. So again, anybody could make a website really easily at WordPress.com. It's all online. You can make your own blog. Again, you can make a blog that has what? Amazon products on it. Write some content about Amazon products on your blog, have link to Amazon, somebody links to Amazon, and boom, you're collecting tons of money. Well, hopefully not tons of money, but some kind of money. Okay, so a blog is a great way to market. You can become an Amazon affiliate, or in this case, we use it to write content that goes back and forth. Now, I don't really like the that they do the blog on a free blog like this, because this is they have advertisement, right? You got the fat burning thing on there, it's just like I don't like that, you know what I mean? But we got our Facebook link on there. If I was going, if I was in charge of the content of this, what I would do is make it on a paid blog. You can pay again on WordPress right here. You can pay, I don't know what the pricing is, $4 a month. So for $4 a month, then you don't have to deal with ads, right? And it looks more professional, and you can have your own domain name, so it wouldn't have to be, because if you look at mine right now, it's zircontools.wordpress.com. That's, maybe it's just zircontools.com, right? And then it could be the blog for Zircon Tools, and then I wouldn't have to deal with the fat burning ads over here, right? And so, for $4 a month, you could use WordPress.com, make yourself a blog around your topic, link to your site, and so this content then is linked to your site, and then you from your website link to this. In doing so, then you're making more links, and that's my whole point here, is my linking information. But that's not, that's okay, and that's a good way to link, right? That's a good linking. But when we're talking linking here, though, the other important thing is the quality of the link. Is it a link that comes from a high-profile site? Popular Mechanics is a little bit high profile than the blog, or in this case, if it's a news site, ABC News or USA Today or AP Press or Huffington Post or Fox News, whatever, if they're linking to your site, whoosh, Google's going to think you're important, right? So, doing things like that is kind of important, and so that's a good way to share links with other people. Again, they're talking about making a blog right here. And you can build yourself a tag cloud if you want. Tag cloud is another way that's you can add to your site, where you put a bunch of words in and it makes a tag cloud. Well, the fun thing about a tag cloud, it shows you what are popular searches, right? So if I put in stud finder, nope, I can't type in stud finder, studs, construction tools, home improvement, is that how I spell improvement? IMPROVEMT. What else am I looking for? Metal detector. Hang TV. Hang. Whatever. And then if you hit visualize, it's going to give you information. The words that are bigger are the ones that are more popular online than the ones that are smaller. And then you can add my web page or blog, upload file, and you can put this on your site. I don't know. It's called a tag cloud. Very interesting. So again, that was link building for beginners. There's a whole bunch of information on there. My important point here is that, the more people that are linking to you and the more people you are linking to. And there's a whole PDF here. I even included in here a whole PDF that you can review. The Beginner's Guide to Link Building. And it's the same kind of information we were looking at, but a little bit more in depth. And they have some charts that talk about different aspects. And they go into more detail about how Google works a little bit as far as the links and how search engines look at links. So if you're more interested in this link building, which is a very important aspect of Google, and if you're in a very small niche area, you probably don't need to deal with this too much. But if you're in a very competitive area, right? Maybe you sell flowers. Right? Whoosh, very competitive industry. This might be the difference between you showing up and not showing up at all, right? So, and so they have some very interesting things to place, as you can see. So I found that it's a very kind of long article. You can read that if you want. Again, it's called Link Building. It's very important to their... Okay, we're going to get to Google Console in a minute, and before we get to that, I want to talk about why and how. So let's talk about the Open Graph. So we talked social media for a little bit, and we talked about Facebook, and we talked about, we didn't really talk about Twitter or Instagram and that, but all these social media companies share data, right? You go to Facebook, you're reading an article, you like something, right? Oh, you hit the like button, right? You ever use the like button on your social media, right? Then you go and you want to send it to a friend or something like that. You want to share it, right? You've all seen the share button before, right? Well, when somebody shares it, how does it look or how is it shared? Well, Google, are they, the people that started social media and things like that have started something several years ago called the Open Graph tool. Okay, what is the Open Graph tool? Well, it's a way that you can share data online. Let's look at it. Well, we don't have to look at that right now, but it's this one right here. It's called the Open Graph Protocol. And what the Open Graph, it's almost like the rich text. You remember when we were looking at the rich snippets and stuff like that, that Google with the cards and stuff? Well, this is very similar. When somebody shares something, how does it look, right? What does it look like? And so you have to put in certain data to be able to get the look that you want. And you'll see they give you code, and you can see the code and all that. But you don't need to necessarily write all this code. You can use a plugin like that Yoast plugin actually writes all this for you. So I'll show you that in a minute. I'm just pointing out how it's done, and you can see there's a whole bunch of information about it. And let's watch a quick video about it.
Hi, I'm Simon, and I work on the platform team here at Facebook. It would be worth taking a time to understand what the Open Graph is and why we built it. And to do that, you have to go back to how Facebook was when we launched about 8 years ago. The very first thing we did is we put identity on the web, users' names and their profile pictures. And the next thing we did was allow users to connect to each other in the social graph, relationships between their friends. And then in April 2010, we launched the first version of the Open Graph. And this allowed people to build out their identity, who they are, by liking objects all over the web. So you could like a movie, you could like a sports team, you could like a TV show. And millions of people built out their identities on Facebook by liking. The like doesn't quite cover everything. I don't just like a movie. I watch a movie, or I rate a movie. And so what we launched in September 2011 is the next version of the Open Graph. And that allows you to connect to any object on the web in any way you want. So I don't just have to like a movie now. I can watch a movie. I can read a news article. I can listen to a song. And I can eat at a restaurant. I don't just have to check in there or like the restaurant. And that is the power of the Open Graph. Now, what that allows people to do is build out their identity, who they are, on Facebook. But to do that in a way that's meaningful with all of this Open Graph data, we had to redesign Facebook. What we came up with was the timeline. The timeline is the story of your life on a single page. It's who you are. But it's not just pictures of where you've been, your friends, your status updates, and where you checked in. With the Open Graph, my timeline is full of tons more stuff. Because I use Spotify, which is connected to the Open Graph, now on my timeline is the music I like, my top artists and top playlists. Not because I went around and liked them, just because I listened to songs in Spotify. Likewise, if I'm particularly into food, instead of just saying, posting a particular status update that says, oh, I ate here, this was awesome. If an application like Food Spotting is connected to the Open Graph, as I use Food Spotting, the food I eat and the restaurants I go to and the people I'm with make up my identity, and they go right on my timeline to build up who I am on the web. But the Open Graph isn't just a story about building out a user's identity through the web and growing your application. Open Graph is one of the first things Facebook launched, which is, by its very nature, completely cross-platform. So you can publish actions to the Open Graph from native apps, iOS and Android, others, mobile web, and desktop web. But not only can you publish to the Open Graph from all of those platforms, as you use Facebook on those platforms too, we'll give distribution back to your application on those platforms too. What this means is I could be using Pinterest on the web, on my desktop computer. A friend of mine could be using Facebook on their iOS app, Facebook's iOS app. They could see a story from me using Pinterest. They click it, and they end up using Pinterest's iOS app, not their web version. So we're driving distribution to Pinterest's apps as well as their products on the web. So the best way to see this in action is to take an example. So this is SoundCloud, who are a German-based audio service. They kind of liken themselves to, I guess, being the YouTube of sound. So you can upload sounds and share them and play them and all that kind of stuff. It's a very cool app. So they looked at building their product and publishing to the Open Graph. And so what they decided to do was pick the actions and objects that people do most frequently in SoundCloud. So the actions they launched with are playing a sound, liking a sound, posting a sound, which is when you upload it. And because SoundCloud is social by design, following a user, and even joining a group. So when I use SoundCloud on any platform, from their desktop web app, www.soundcloud.com, from their mobile website, m.soundcloud.com, and then from their iOS app, their Android native app, and even from their OS X app from that. Whenever I use SoundCloud on any of those platforms, they're publishing actions to the Open Graph. And then when users see those stories in Facebook, we're driving traffic back to SoundCloud on any one of those platforms. So let's quickly go through, when you publish to the Open Graph, what happens inside Facebook and how we drive distribution. So the web is the most, probably the one you're the most familiar with. When you publish an action, Simon liked a sound on SoundCloud. They publish this via the API. So this.
Okay, so he's talking about Open Graph, and basically what you can do as a person who owns a web product or web presence is you can control what it looks like, right? So wouldn't it be nice if somebody shares your content online that you can control what it looks like and not have it be random? And that's sort of what I wanted to talk about as far as Open Graph is concerned. You can control that through publishing and in your website, okay? So I don't know. Here's one more video. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but
Chad Warner, founder of Optimize.
this guy talks about how to do it.
Social settings
And I'll just quickly do one. So again, I do this through WordPress, right? So here's WordPress again. Remember I was showing WordPress earlier? So as you can see, what you could do is you prepare your content of your website the way that you want it to be. And then here's an example. If somebody was going to share his website, so in this example from this video, when somebody would to share this website on Facebook or on Twitter or on or Instagram or whatever, what is the image that would show up? What is the text that would show up? What is the tagline down here? And what is the link? And who is it for? You can see right here. So you can control this as far as social media is concerned. You can control this for your company. Okay, and how do you do that? Well, you can do it in Yoast. And I'll show you that real quick. We'll go back to Yoast real quick and I'll just show you where it's at and what it is. But I think you should understand how people share in the social media realm, and that it's important that you can control that. And again, it's in the building of your website. And so if I could find, oh, here we are. So here we are in inside of again, this is WordPress that I use. So in WordPress, again, probably the most important plugin is called Yoast. And if you go down to a search or SEO here, you'll notice you have a variety of tools. I'm going to go through them kind of quickly because if you're ever going to be doing any marketing, probably you'll have to deal with Yoast. So did I save? I think I did. Hopefully, I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. So let's look at the things that Yoast does. So if you're going to use Yoast, and I already did most of this already, so let me show you this part, and then I'll show you the analytics, and then we can go home, because I know you're getting tired. I get tired of talking too. But at least we got some nice videos that we made, and we can post them on our line here. So again, I have issues here because this website needs some work. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to some of the things I'm going to show you. One of the ones I use a lot is this one right here called XML, which is a sitemap. Sitemap is a way that the Yoast company, what a sitemap is a linking structure of your website. What goes from one page to the other page to the other page. It's done in a format called XML. And if we click on it here, it'll show you your these. And so these sitemaps that you see right here, you need to copy and paste them into Google. Okay, so these sitemaps here, it shows you kind of the structure of your website. Do you see that? So so that's an important aspect of Yoast right there. What is the structure? Again, as far as Yoast, sitemap is important. When I was just talking about the open graph is important. And then the last thing I would say that's really important to this Yoast is that you take your property and associate it with Google as well. And that's called Google Console. And you do that through the Webmaster Tools here. I've already done that, and you can see there's a verification code right here. For some reason, I can't remember my login and password. So what I'm trying to say is that you can take your website and associate it with a Google account. So I have a Google account that I use to manage my searching, right? How do I manage my searching, and how do I manage the website or on Google? So I guess my whole point is you have a property, it's a website, or it's a blog or something online. You then take that property and associate it with a Google account. And then once you have that Google account, you can then do things to make it show up in Google much better with the rich cards, with the open graph, with the search features. And so in order to do that, you have to get a verification code, and you can see it right here. And so, and you can do that for Bing as well, and then this website, and then this one as well. So that you can do that here, and this is in Yoast right here. So that's an important part of Yoast. And then there's a search appearance option here. It kind of gives you an idea of how to set your title tags. Remember we talked about title tags and description tags and things like that. So you can control that globally on your website with this plugin. Again, it's called Yoast, very popular. Then you have a search console here inside of here as well, which is very useful. This search console is a way that you can control how, I haven't really figured this one out very much, but how you can control the phone search and things like that. I haven't really figured this one out yet. I don't know. I'm going to have to read a little bit more on this. But again, you have to get an authorization code from Google and put it in there. I haven't done that yet. So the search, but this is the one I wanted to talk about. Remember we were just talking about Open Graph, right? So here under social, inside here, you'll see that you have, you put in all your URLs. So if you have a Facebook account, you put that in there. A Twitter account, you put it in there. Instagram account, you put it in there. YouTube account, you put it in there. And of course, Google Plus is gone, right? They killed Google Plus last week, right? Yeah, Google Plus is no longer. But then you can go over here to where it says Facebook right here. And then here it is, add an open graph metadata. And you put in your Facebook ID. You put in the image you want it to show up. Remember the title I was showing you before? You can add a title and a description and then where you want it to go. So you can control how your property is viewed in social media by using something called the Open Graph that we were just watching the video. And then you go into this plugin. This plugin is called Yoast, and you can go and put all that in there. An image you want to show up. So when somebody shares your property on Facebook, you can control what it looks like. So I think that's important, and that's a you know, especially because then you can control what it looks like. Right now, I don't know what would show up if somebody probably would just take an image from the website and just put it on there. I don't think it. What I'm trying to say is, you know, people can still share your website online, but do you know what's showing up, right? You know, so what is showing up on Facebook? What is showing up on Twitter? What is showing? So you can control that. Again, it's called the Open Graph, and you can see you got Facebook, you got Twitter, you got Pinterest, you got Google Plus. Well, don't use Google Plus anymore. It's not there anymore. Google Plus is gone. Okay, so again, that's all I wanted to kind of show you in WordPress. Okay, so if you've, and then there's some tools in here, and then I'll offer a WordPress class again in the spring if you want to take WordPress. It's going to be all online. Again, how you would take the classes. I kind of make videos and explain how to use the software, and so on. So there's a lot of very good things. Again, it's Yoast right there. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty stuff as far as